Over the last couple of years, Cadillac has been on a journey to completely reinvigorate their entire US portfolio. Now, that's especially true when it comes to all-electric models. The company began their journey with the all-electric Lyriq back in 2022, built off of the excellent Optiq architecture and offering just over 300 miles of range. Now, for 2025, we are taking a look at the next chapter of the electric vehicle family, because this right here is the Lyriq's baby brother, the 2025 Cadillac Optiq. And today we're actually at a studio just outside of Detroit, Michigan, to finally take a look at the new Optiq. It's slightly smaller, more affordable, but also having the same luxury and technology that we expect from the Cadillac brand. So now that we're finally seeing the new Optiq in person, let's go ahead and take a first look. Now, just like the Lyriq, the Optiq is also built off of GM's excellent Ultium battery architecture, which is a great place to start because it's one of the best driving and performing EVs that you're going to find in the industry. Now, before we start talking about the unique styling language of the Optiq, let's go ahead and pop the hood and show you guys what's underneath here. Now, just like its other vehicles that are riding on this platform, the Optiq does not have a front trunk. Instead, you just have a bunch of plastic covers underneath here, and I suspect that has to do, again, with the fact that GM wanted to be able to equip this vehicle with a faster Level 2 onboard charger, although we don't have confirmation of that. What we do have confirmation on are the powertrain specs, because here in America, the Optiq is going to launch with just one powertrain option. All of them will use an 89 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion battery pack, and you're going to get standard dual-motor all-wheel drive. So you're going to have all-wheel drive as standard. This car's platform mate is kind of like the Chevrolet Equinox EV. That also offers front or all-wheel drive, but the Optiq will only offer the latter because, again, this is more of a premium luxury car. Cadillac says you'll get up to 288 horsepower combined and 333 pound-feet of torque. Those figures are practically identical to something like the Equinox EV. The Blazer EV also offers a similar output, and the Honda Prologue. The company says that it'll all go out through a one-speed reduction gear transmission. A dual-motor all-wheel drive is going to be, of course, included. And the range, the Cadillac is saying you'll do up to 300 miles of range, which they're claiming is going to be around best in class for the compact luxury SUV scale. The company wasn't ready to talk about performance figures. I've had a chance to test out this powertrain and other variants that use this dual motor propulsion, and it'll do 0 to 60 in just under 6 seconds. So I estimate this should be roughly the same. We don't know quite yet what the towing figures are going to be or the curb weight figures yet, but Cadillac says they'll have all that information for us as we get closer to the on sale date. But let's go ahead and head over here to this side, because I want to show you where you charge the vehicle. Now, just like the Lyriq, there's actually a power opening and closing charge port door, which is a nice upscale touch. You can see it's even illuminated. It uses the standard J1772 plug with the CCS combo to DC fast charge. Cadillac says this vehicle should be able to add around 70 miles of range in about 10 minutes when you're on a Level 3 charger. They didn't tell us what the maximum acceptance is for a Level 3 fast charger. I estimate it's probably going to be either 150 to 190 kilowatts. That's based, of course, on a lot of this car's platform mates and what the specs that they offer. But let's go ahead and close up this hood here and talk about the exterior styling, because the Lyriq, when it first came out, it literally looked like a rolling concept car. I was a big fan of the design, still am a big fan even after it's been on the market for 2 years. And you can see Cadillac has captured a lot of that magic here on the Optiq. First of all, this trim level that I'm showing you is the top of the line model. It's known as the Sport 2, so it's going to have more of a sportier, design philosophy to it. And this color is also called Monarch Orange. I believe it's a new color for Cadillac, and it looks fantastic in this light on this particular vehicle. It actually looks a little bit reddish from certain angles, but I think it really goes well with the lines. The grille of the Cadillac, or this car, Cadillac says it has like a black crystal finish to it, and it also has kind of like this laser etching into it where it gives you this texture. There's also illumination in the grille as part of like a lighted choreography package this car also comes with. You have the key fob, you approach the vehicle, it'll do like a really cool light signature dance to kind of welcome you and kind of say goodbye to you as you walk away from the vehicle. The Cadillac logo is also illuminated. That's going to house the sensors, of course, for all the adaptive cruise, the auto emergency braking, the Super Cruise, which, by the way, is going to be standard on this car. I also love the way the front camera is integrated here. And Cadillac says there's around 114 individual LEDs in this actual grille that kind of, again, syncs with the way the headlights look. You can see this style of the headlight was first shown on the Lyriq. And the Cadillac crest style grille also looks fantastic with the black painted accents. There are some active grille shutters here, nicely integrated parking sensors. And let me know in the comment section below what you guys think of the design. I think Cadillac has really been on a roll. A lot of their cars just look upscale, they look modern, but they also look incredibly premium and distinctively Cadillac. So I think the company's been doing a great job in terms of the exterior design. Now, moving around the side profile of the vehicle, you can see this is what Cadillac is calling a compact SUV. Although if you look at the dimensions, I don't actually have the US spec dimensions dimensions, but I was able to look up some of the Chinese specs that they released a couple of weeks ago, and they were saying that the Optiq is around 189.6 inches long, so that's around 7 inches shorter versus a Lyriq. Its wheelbase is around 116.3, that's around 6 inches shorter. So again, by the dimensions, this is more of like a compact SUV, but Cadillac tends to kind of introduce tweener vehicles, so it's kind of like a big compact SUV because the Lyriq is around 197 inches long, which is more like a full-size SUV. You can see with the Sport 2 trim level, you get these really attractive looking 21-inch wheels. They're running on a 275 by 40 R21 Continental all-season tire. You can see you have these massive brakes, you have fully independent suspension. I don't have, the ground clearance figures or if this vehicle has adaptive dampers, but I love the contrast here with the monarch orange with the gloss black that you see along the wheel arch trim, along the side sills, along the front and rear splitter. It goes extremely well, of course, with the two-tone look. So you can see the mirrors are power folding, you have integrated turn signals that are black painted, and then you can see here the black painted roof goes really well with the two-tone color scheme of this car. The glass panoramic roof at the top here is also going to be standard equipment. Cadillac says it doesn't actually open up to vent air. You can let light into the vehicle via a shade, but it is standard equipment. Some vehicle manufacturers, again, make that as optional. I do wish that the roof actually opened up to vent air. Now, looking over here at the D pillar, you can see there's this really interesting pattern here in the glass. Now, Cadillac says this pattern that you see here is actually baked into the underneath portion of the layer for this glass. So from the inside, you can see it, but if you're touching it here, you're actually not touching the little, pattern that you're seeing. It's actually behind, again, another layer of glass. This is the first application of this kind of technology. It's a nice little styling detail that kind of draws your eyes over here and kind of gets people wondering, how did they do something like that? It's a really cool design detail to talk about. And then looking at the rear, if you guys have seen our first look video on the Escalade IQ, this looks pretty similar. You can see it kind of has the front fascia of the Lyriq and maybe the Celestiq, and then it has the rear styling of the Escalade IQ. You can see it has that signature vertical stacked LED taillight, full LED taillight design. You can see you have a built-in spoiler here and another spoiler at the top. It looks like there is no rear window wiper here, or at least not from what I'm seeing. So that's an interesting design. I suspect that's because aerodynamics allow the water to kind of be pushed aside when you're driving the vehicle. There's some badging over here. And then this badge right here, 450E4. E4 stands for all-wheel drive. And then 450 is the torque in Newton meters. Don't really love that badging there, but again, it kind of shows the positioning of the Optiq in terms of its power output. You can see the rear bumper also has a sportier look on this Sport 2 trim with the gloss black, the integrated parking sensors, and the all-LED lighting. It just makes for a very cohesive but a very upscale look that, again, will instantly let you know that it's a Cadillac vehicle. Now, push the Cadillac logo there. You can see that opens up the trunk. And because this vehicle is on the larger scale for a compact SUV, a luxury SUV, you can see the cargo space here is generous. Now, I don't have final cargo figures just yet, but if you look at this car's platform mate, the Equinox EV, that offers around 30 cubic feet, which expands to 57. I'd say this should have pretty similar amounts. Cadillac claims it's going to have best in class in terms of cargo and rear seat legroom, which we'll talk about in just a moment. You can see there's a little bit of storage here off to the side of the cargo area. It has a really nice cargo floor with some nice metallic accents. If you lift this up here, you can see the floor actually does come out, and you can actually find a little bit of underfloor storage over there, along with the mobile charger, which by the way, this car actually comes with a dual level charger, so you can actually plug it into a level 1 or a level 2. You can see this little floor actually allows you to adjust it so you can put it on either a lower level or a top level to kind of make it more of a flush mounted surface. But overall, as you can see, in traditional Cadillac fashion, there is plenty of available cargo space. So I think those of you who are looking for that kind of practicality in your luxury EV are going to find plenty to like with this Optiq. So the exterior of the new Optiq is obviously stunning, but what about the interior? Now this is where if you guys have spent a lot of time in the Lyriq, you're gonna find plenty to like here with this technology and the amount of luxury. Now first let me get inside the vehicle because I wanna be able to close the door so it stops that dinging sound. But as I get in and shut the door, you can hear the door has a nice solid sounding thunk. Remember, this is built off of the Ultium platform, which is a very stiff structure. That's a specific structure that's also built off around the battery pack that lines the floor. Now you can see here's the key fob for the vehicle. It includes Cadillac's push button start with intelligent access key. You can see it has usual buttons for lock, unlock, remote start, power liftgate, panic. It has the Cadillac logo on the back. I think the key fob looks nice, but you will find this kind of key on other GM products as well. So if that bothers you, that could be a problem. But if not, you can also, I believe, use your phone as a key. But as I get inside the vehicle, you can see the entire dash layout is dominated by this 33-inch curved OLED display. Now, this display was first shown off, of course, in the Lyriq. The company has been busy adding it to other Cadillac models. And as you can see, it just looks fantastic. I love the way the screen looks. It's basically one continuous screen as opposed to a chopping of 2 or 3 different screens like what you find in the Escalade. You can see there's a touch panel over here that allows you to control your headlights and a few other things. This gauge cluster here in the center is slightly customizable. And then over here, you have basically the latest infotainment system from Cadillac. If you guys have seen our review of the new XT4 or the Lyriq, we've already shown you guys a review on that, and it's a really great system to interact with. Now, in terms of the materials, let's go ahead and talk about the door panels. First of all, this Sport 3 has a really interesting texture of like a fabric material on the upper door panel. It feels really nice and high quality. It looks fantastic. You can see your power seat controls are located on the door panel. The driver and the front passenger gets 2-person memory, and they're heated and ventilated seats. They adjust, I believe, in like 16 different ways, and you also get a massage function on this particular trim. Now, I'm not entirely sure if the massage function is standard equipment on all the trims, but again, it's a really nice upscale touch for a compact luxury SUV. Looking at the steering wheel, you can see it has the Super Cruise status bar, and that's because this vehicle does come standard with Super Cruise, even on the base version of the Optiq. That's a really great feature. It's typically optional. Even on the Lyriq, you have to pay extra for it to go get Super Cruise, but it's great that Cadillac includes it as standard. You can see the steering wheel itself has a manual tilt telescoping adjustment with a good amount of adjustability and range. You have a lot of newer switch gear that we've also seen from the Lyriq, where your gear selector is over here. Your windshield wiper stalk is over here, headlight control is over here. It's pretty easy to kind of get in here and get, find a very comfortable driving position, which I like. There's also some nice materials that kind of carry over onto the dash. You can see this is the same fabric material from the door panels. This upper portion of the dash is not leather stitched, but it's lined in a soft touch injection molded plastic. And this model that I'm showing you is a very early pre-production model, but I have to say the build quality looks pretty solid. There's a lot of, different materials in here, and they all seem to fit together nicely, and it looks fantastic. Modern and futuristic, of course, with the infotainment system. You can see the dash vents have this little dial or this little joystick that you can move around here to control where the direction of the airflow is going to go. I like how it's manual as opposed to being an electronic system where you have to go into a screen. There's also some ambient LED lighting in this car. Cadillac says, I believe there's like 176 different color combinations. Even the speakers, they do have a little bit of LED lighting in the actual door speakers. That AKG sound system, by the way, is going to be standard. It's 19 speakers. So if you guys are an audiophile and you really favor that, every version of the Optiq is going to come standard with that upgraded 19-speaker AKG audio system. Down over here in the center console area, or center stack, you can see you have dual zone climate. You have a little bit of storage over here where it's illuminated. You have 2 USB-C charging ports here, which again is a pretty good location. There's also some additional storage down here, although it's not really much in terms of covered storage, but you can easily put some loose things in here, maybe like a small purse, your cell phone, for example. And then you can see over here on this floating center console, you can see more of that interesting textured fabric is like lining this area here. You have this big Cadillac control knob, so if you don't want to use the touchscreen here, which most of you probably are going to use the touchscreen, you can kind of use this little knob. The knob itself is fine, it works okay, but just like in the Lyriq, I don't particularly love the way it sounds when you start using it. You can see there's an actual volume knob here, which has a nice high quality, satisfying click to it. You can see the cup holders are over here. Some interesting carbon fiber look material here that looks fantastic with this kind of textured cloth material. You have a nice padded center console area here with the contrasting stitching. And then if you open this up, you can see your wireless phone charging pad is going to be over here, and there's a little bit more storage there. There's also 2 more USBs in there along with the SD card for the built-in GPS function, which is a nice touch. This lid sadly only opens from the driver's side. Some luxury brands allow you to open it from both sides. The seats, like I mentioned earlier, these are the upgraded leather premium seats that you get with this trim. They feel relatively comfortable and supportive for me, but I'll have to wait until I get one for a full week where I can actually, drive it on a longer drive to see how the comfort is. I wasn't too keen on the seat comfort in the Lyriq when I had it for a week, but again, these seats look really nice, they look really high quality, and I love the way they look, especially with the headrest. Unlike the Lyriq, you don't have, it looks like speakers in the headrest, which again, there's everything kind of to a price point. And then above me here, you can see that glass roof has a power retractable and opening shade, but sadly it doesn't actually open up to vent air. I kind of wish it did. There's a nice woven material here. There's some LED map lighting here, and then you can see the rear view mirror, which is digital. I believe Cadillac said that's going to be standard across the board. So if you guys would prefer just a standard mirror, you can do that with the frameless design and then flip this up. It gives you a high definition display of what's exactly behind you. So overall, the interior of the front front seat area feels almost identical to the last Lyriq. It really has a stunningly modern design with tons of high quality materials, great tech behind the software, and Super Cruise is standard, so that's a lot of value for money there. But let's go ahead and hop into the rear seat area because I want to show you guys the space and what that's like. Now, sadly, Cadillac didn't have any actual legroom figures for us just yet. Now this seat, by the way, it does allow you to kind of fold it down to increase the cargo capacity. It's not a completely flat floor. There is a little bit of a slope, but again, it does allow you to expand that cargo capacity. The seat itself also doesn't recline, so I was hoping it would offer a recline function, but it's still a very nicely sized backseat area. Now, in terms of the rear seat space, Cadillac says it's going to be best in class. Now, I read that the legroom of the Equinox EV, which has the same wheelbase of this car, is around 38 inches. So I estimate this car is probably going to be similar. You can see in terms of the legroom space, there's a ton here. This is where I pretty much would have the front seat to drive. There's a ton of foot space. Over here, you can see the floor is completely flat. Ignore that little bump there. That's from the floor mat that's a little bit messed up. You can see the rear seat air vents are nicely integrated here with the same joystick to change the flow of it. You have 3-level heated rear seats, 2 USB charging ports, and actual power outlet here, which is nice. You have storage pockets and leather kind of covering the back of the seat back there, which is nice. More of that fabric, textured fabric on the upper door panel with the metal speakers and the LED ambient lighting. The window controls, they have a nice high quality feel to them. They are kind of bespoke to the Cadillac brand. No other GM product uses those window control switches along with the door handle, as you can see. It's a traditional style door handle in contrast to the pop-out ones outside the vehicle. And then if you fold this down, you can see there's an armrest and gives you 2 cup holders. In terms of the headroom space, this is where the lower roof line of the Optiq does cut into this, along with the panoramic sunroof. If you're over 6 foot, I might see your head slamming into the roof a couple times, especially over bumps. But overall, in terms of the legroom space, in terms of features and material quality, this definitely feels very befitting of a luxury brand like Cadillac. Now, before we wrap this video up, I thought I'd show you guys some of the different color combinations that Cadillac is going to offer for the interior, because that one over there only had their black interior. They call it, I believe, a Piet. You can see this model that you're seeing here has what they call a matra finish, so it actually has like a blue interior finishing with the leather and that kind of textured cloth. It also has like a blue undertone. You can see there's also a gray color as well. This is like a sky cool touch gray, which also looks really good, especially if you guys prefer a lighter color. And then as you can see, coming over here to some of the interior trim pieces, this is called like an Art Deco paper wood look that really I think is going to add some modern touches to the interior, and I love the textured look. Cadillac just does a really good job with just giving you that modern feel with the luxury and all the different textures, the different colors. You can see there's some of the different leather choices there, and they really kind of just show off the kind of customization that you can do with Cadillac, which is important when you're looking at a luxury brand. But let's go ahead and head back to the car and wrap this video up, because I want to talk about the pricing and the availability of the 2025 Optiq. Now, first of all, if you guys are looking to get your hands on this car, Cadillac says they should be arriving at your local Cadillac dealership sometime toward the end of this year. And the company actually already had pricing in mind. They said that the base price is going to start at around $54,000. That's likely going to include the destination charge, which I believe is like $1,500 to $2,000. I'll have to double check that. But $54,000 seems like a fairly good deal considering all the level of equipment that this car comes with. Now, I also want to point out that if you're looking at this car's bigger brother, the Lyriq, that car starts at around $58,000. So you might be thinking, what gives? Why is this car only $4,000 cheaper? Well, that's because it has to do with the equipment, because unlike the Lyriq, this car comes standard with dual motor all-wheel drive. It also comes standard with the panoramic glass roof and Super Cruise technology, along with the upgrades with the AKG sound system. So if you add in those features to the Lyriq, which you have to go to like a luxury 2 grade with the Super Cruise option, that's where you can get Super Cruise. The Lyriq's going to come in at around $70,000. So there you're looking at around a $15,000 price reduction versus the Lyriq, which is a pretty decent amount. Now, if you're also comparing this car to like something like the Equinox EV, in which it's based, the Equinox EV is going to be around $10,000 less. But if you go to a fully loaded Equinox EV, that'll go at a little over $50,000. So there's a ton of value to be had here with the Optiq, and I think that when it does come to the market later this year, it's going to find a place in a lot of people's driveways, because essentially what it gives you is all the same luxury technology and presence that you get with the Lyriq, but it's in a smaller, slightly more affordable package, and with the range figures at around 300 miles with standard dual motor all-wheel drive, it should work for a lot of buyers out there looking for a compact SUV that doesn't scream I'm an EV, it just screams that I'm a premium, modern, sophisticated, and luxurious EV, and that's exactly what we expect from the Cadillac brand. But with all that said, hope you guys have enjoyed our brief full overview on the 2025 Cadillac Optiq. If you're also looking to see the latest vehicles we're testing, be sure to follow me on Instagram at Redline_reviews, like us on Facebook, and as always guys, please keep subscribing to the Redline Reviews YouTube channel for all the latest reviews. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you all in the next video.